Talking all things, fighting like a dream that never ends. The fighter in you brings out the fighter in me. Shake it off and take your corner, time for shout out. The fighter in you brings out the fighter in me. Shake it off and take your corner, time for shout out. It's time to shout out.
Welcome back, fight friends, to the Shout Out Fight Podcast. Look who it is, as said by me, and I'm sure many others, the most exciting fighter in combat sports in this nation, Mr. Jake Peacock. Jake, thanks for coming in, pal.
Thanks for having me. It's been a while.
Matter of fact, you were episode number 5.
Episode number 5.
Episode number
with
5.
Chris, yeah?
That's right, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that was after one of my fights. Which one? Federico?
I think so, yeah.
Scotland. Yeah, Scotland.
Yeah, and that one, the audio on that one's really good because you weren't in studio at that time, so
Right.
wink.
Right.
All right, man. Listen, I know you're a busy fella. I mean, we all know that. We all see what's going on right now in your life, and I'm really thankful for you taking the time to do this today, man.
No, I appreciate you having me on, man.
Well, listen, a lot has happened since the first podcast. Let's just get right into it, man. One championship. So, I mean, where do you begin? I have a couple questions. I'm going to try not to touch them, but let's start with the tournament. So, how about the Muay Thai World Cup tournament finals? Or not even, just the tournament itself. How were you feeling? We've had a few conversations in the past privately. How were you feeling knowing that one championship was just on the other side of that fence? How did that come about? How were you feeling? And let's talk us through that tournament a little bit.
Yeah. First off, that tournament was wicked.
Unbelievable.
Across the board, like, this can be hard to top for a while.
Agreed.
Yeah, just a great idea, great concept. Kieran put it together fantastically. Kieran and Tina put on great shows. And
Shout out to them.
Shout out to them, the Shout Out podcast. No, it was a proper tournament. I loved it. Yeah, I was determined. As soon as I knew the contract was on the other side of that, I was determined. In 2020, after my fight in Dublin, I came back and I hopped on social media and I messaged Chatri, and at the time I was probably only 3-0.
Right.
And I messaged Chatri and I'm like, you've probably seen it on social media. I'm like, any last minute replacement, I'm always ready. Anyone from 140 to 150 pounds, whatever. He didn't respond. I messaged him again 6 months later. No response. And I messaged him again 6 months after that. And I'm like, in capitals, I will fight for one day. And so I've been, yeah, it's pretty cool. Huh?
Yeah, for sure.
I was after him as well. I'm like, I will not be denied. And then my whole thing about my whole concept behind the tournament, everything I was telling myself was, I will not be denied. I will be the best. Well, I am the best in the country. I was the best in the country. I was going to prove that in the tournament. Small gloves, big gloves, no gloves. And I wanted to run through everyone and prove why I'm the best. I've fought every kind of type of fighter now. And every size, every shape, different styles. And I knew I was going to do well in that tournament. A couple adjustments with the small gloves.
Sure.
And I made them like a professional, and I came out and, just finished it.
So how was the adjustment to the little gloves?
It came as a big wake-up call. I fought Abdu, who is no slouch, and never, ever doubted him for a second.
What a fight, man.
Great fight, yeah. And then I think that proved a lot of people wrong about me as well. People are, he's walking through everyone. I fought some top-level competition in Europe. People don't know, like, the guys that I fought, like Niall McGreevy, Federico, all these guys, like, people just see me knocking people out in the first, second, third round and think, he's got easy work. So they come up against Abdu, and Abdu's solid. And Abdu put me down for an 8 count. He actually put me down for 2 8 counts, but I styled that first one, man.
Stud.
Backflip, backward roll, popped up, looked at the ref. What are you talking about, ref? And he's like, oh, yeah, he just slipped.
Right.
And then the second time, 100%, he dropped me.
Yep.
I stood up, and I made some slight adjustments in the moment. But as you know, in the middle of a fight, making like such drastic adjustments to your entire game, that takes time to break habits, right?
Yes.
And I had a certain habit, and I after that fight, Krista was a big part of this as well. Krista, my wife.
Shout out to Mrs. Peacock.
Yeah, Mrs. Peacock. She has great advice. She always shoots it straight with me and keeps it real. And we went to the drawing board and we realized, what I had to do, what I had to tighten up. And I was in that gym and I was I was never making that mistake again.
Sure.
And I maybe made it 2, 3, handful of times in sparring over the coming months. I never did it again, and I've never done it again, and I'll never do it again. And that's what I'm like. I take it really serious, and that's the reason why I knew I would beat everyone in the tournament, even the last-minute replacement of Nick. I was just too determined, and I took it too seriously, and I've worked too hard. Since I was 7 years old, I've been in martial arts, 10 years old competing, so it's been 21 years now, and I've worked my whole life for something like that.
For sure. You were recently on a unbelievably good-looking podcast. You want to shout them out real quick?
The Shout Out podcast?
Well, of course.
Yeah.
But I saw there was like a beautiful sweat, way more money into theirs than mine.
What was that one?
You were sitting
I've been
down.
on like 6 interviews in the last week.
I literally was like, yay, my ticket came up, yay.
Which one was... Which one?
You were sitting on a couch. It was fancy. You were in a green jacket.
No.
A lot about mindset.
Oh, yeah. That's my mate, RJ, the guy that wrapped me to the ring.
Oh, no, okay.
For the WBC title
I remember that.
defense.
Yeah, you bet.
I was on that podcast.
Beautiful
in
podcast.
Edmonton, yeah.
Now, I know you mentioned it, and I'm sure it's redundant, but I'm going to go one step further. You talk about not being denied and the mentality, and you always drop this line, I'm just built different.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let you get away with that.
Yeah.
How? Why? What is it? Why? What is it that you see that makes you built different?
I think you're kind of, to some degree, born that way.
I feel that way too.
Yeah, for sure. People are wired differently, but I think you can help it by training that and through things that happen in your life or like proactive training of that mentality. But, you know, growing up with some adversity, as we've spoken about many times, growing up with adversity, and I was the type of person to work my way through it, push my way through it. I've never been one to roll over, never had a give up attitude. If I wanted to do something, what's the title?
Make it happen.
Make it happen.
Make it happen.
Shouts Out podcast.
Be about it.
Make it happen. Be about it.
Yep.
You know, be a person of action, not just a person of words. So, probably a bit of both there.
So let me take it even maybe one step further, and let me speak on my behalf. You're very magnetic with your attitude, your training, your aura. Like it's something that all fighters want to be around. For other people say just being around Jake, man, that energy. So let's just take me. So I'm listening to the podcast, and that's great, and I want to be all those things. Where do I start? How do I be you?
First, you got to get a goal. You got to decide what you're chasing after.
Sure.
Right. If you got 10 different things out there and you're all over the place, you don't know where to zone in. You need a goal, and then you need to surround yourself with a solid team, people that support you, people that are keep it real with you. If you can't keep it real with yourself, if you can keep it real with yourself, that's number one.
Sure.
Being dead honest. And you know, I think not having a head coach has helped me facilitate that kind of mindset. Because if I'm not brutally honest with myself, me and Chris train. Chris McMillan.
Shout out to Chris.
Shout out to Chris. Previous fights, we start hitting pads 2-3 times a week, 5 weeks out from the fight. Now we're hitting pads like 8 weeks out from the fight. We're actually hitting pads regularly now, twice a week. You know, just consistently, just because we got to be ready for one.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, outside of Chris holding pads for me, I don't have a coach telling me, all right, adjustments to this, that on a daily basis. Most of my training is done alone. And if I wasn't honest with myself and humble, then I'd be making the same mistakes over and over again. And so that kind of mindset, I lost track of my thoughts there, but that kind of mindset facilitates that.
Sure. So like I was just saying, so like goal setting, right? Like if like I want to be Jake, I want to be not even the fighter, but the guy, the mindset.
Right. Yeah. Surround yourself with a good team. Keep it real with yourself. Be honest with yourself. You got to know where you need to improve, what you're good at, where you can be better at, where you're great. You know, all of these things. Surround yourself with a good team, and then go full steam. Believe it. Make it happen. Be about it.
Yes, sir. I know we were going to talk about the tournament, but who cares? We can go wherever we want. Do you like strawberries? Do you like yogurt? We can talk about whatever we want.
I like strawberries and I like yogurt. I just found out yesterday that I think I'm lactose intolerant.
Oof,
a little bit. Dairy bothers me.
Found out the hard way.
I had a big bowl of yogurt on the way to the gym in the car. That crema, the 10% MF.
Oh, yeah.
Fat. Yeah. Oh. And I was struggling in class. I was teaching class. I was struggling.
Is that right?
I was struggling.
So maybe yogurt doesn't like you.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe.
Oh man, I talked about yogurt and strawberries. Well, I'll get back to it, but
The yogurt?
no,
The strawberries.
no, neither. Abdul Haddad, I do want to talk about that. And by the way, you did mention earlier that people had doubts. I didn't have doubts, but I know I talked about it in the ring with you. But I held a reservation. I wanted to see you in a Dragon
see
mode.
me there.
Yeah,
People want to see me there.
and that quashed any doubt of me.
Let me get into this.
Let's do it.
I'm a dog, man. Like
Agreed.
people don't even need to see me fight like that, but like inside, I want to scrap. I will take a fight on a week's notice. Like I've never turned down a fight. I'm after it. I'm about it, and I like to scrap. And people need to understand that. Like I like a fight.
Nice.
So
We just never get to see you in
I'll give you
one.
an example. Oh yeah. I'll give you an example. So Abdul in the finals.
Yep.
Abdul first
Wafat.
round. Well, it ended in the first round. First 30 seconds, he grabs my leg, he sweeps me or dumps me somehow. I throw a knee, beautifully timed dump. He's good at those. Dumps me, and he lies on top of me, and he goes nose to nose with me. There's footage of it. I'm going to post it soon. I don't know if you can hear the audio, but he goes nose to nose with me. He's like, stay down. And I laughed. I smiled. I laughed. My back's on the canvas, and I laughed. And I get up, and I put him down for an 8 count at some point, 30 seconds, a minute after. I put him down for an 8 count. Man, I was pissed he was down for an 8 count. I wanted him up. I'm in the corner. I said, stand up. I made a point. I'm like, stand up now. I was mad.
Sure.
Like, I'm here for a fight. You're giving me half a round. I want to fight, and I want to keep going. And I just love a scrap, man.
Nice,
so I don't
man.
know where we were going. What were we saying about that? Why did we get into that?
I just was curious about your war with Abdul Haddad, and you were like, dude, I'm a dog. I know. I was holding reservations.
The doubt. Yeah,
right?
the reservations. Yeah. People, I'm glad it came to that, so people can see. You know, I'm mad, and that's the other thing. Like, you know, since I turned pro, our sparring at the gym, like I have guys, you know, try and go for me. Like I need guys keep it real with me, and I love to go to deep waters. And you know, I've been in like it's a dog fight half the time at the gym. So the fight is just in smaller gloves, you know, less ounces, and maybe there's a little more of a kill instinct. But
For sure.
I asked the guys, like at one point at the gym, we had a $100 cash if you can drop me to the body. Hit me to the body and drop, like sink me to the body with something, you get $100 cash. I've had my $100 on me ever since.
Nice.
So
Nice.
that kind of
That's a
thing,
good line.
right? That kind of thing.
So why do you like that fight? Why do you like getting after it like that?
I felt different.
Sure.
I don't know. I just love it. I was
Sure.
my parents say I was born a fighter. Like I came out of the womb fighting. The umbilical cord got wrapped around my neck a couple times.
Wow.
Yeah. They had to put like I don't know. They put electrodes on my head because I was lacking oxygen. I don't know all this stuff. But I was born a fighter.
There you go.
I just enjoy it.
Sure. No, I hear you, man. How did that? You know, it's in the questions. I'm just going to get into it. How did when you were fighting? Oh no, that was one Abdul Haddad. After you win, the fight's over. You splatter his nose across his face. What were you feeling then? Like you won hard fight. Was there? You know, the first fight in the tournament. You two, in my opinion, would have been in the finals if you weren't in the same bracket.
Yeah, no, that would have been fun.
Yeah.
I think I was business, like on to the next kind of thing.
Yeah.
Kind of attitude. Like I had a goal. It was one championship. It wasn't Abdul Haddad. It was one championship. So Abdul was in the way. Then it was supposed to be Absit in the way, right? So I just had guys lined up that I needed to get out the way. Abdul was one of them. So I was pretty business. Even after the Nick fight, Absit got replaced with Nick last minute, who we should get into because he's a legend.
Oh, absolutely.
But, yeah, I was after that fight too. I wasn't even smiling after the fight. I was business, man. Like, on to the next. I'm pumped. It's the finals now, and I've got a job to do, and I can't sleep. People wild like Abdul, people wild like him in the finals. You got to be switched on. You know, they say less experience, all of this. Like, someone in 4-ounce gloves that is aggressive and wants to swing and throw punches at weird angles and that, it's these gloves, you get clipped. On the chin, it's
no room for error.
It doesn't matter how tough you are.
Yep.
You know, it's a physiological reaction. Your brain's going to rattle and you're going to go down. So it was business until we get that contract. And now We got the contract, and it's business.
Still business.
It's business. Even more so.
Let's talk about your second fight there with Nick Cron. So, it was. I was excited to see you fight Appice, bro. This fly is driving me insane.
Hey, I know.
Go away.
Been trying to get it.
He now Appice. So last minute, things changed. You're fighting undefeated Nick Cron, training in Mexico with Eddie Farrell. Shout out to them in Tulum there. Did you know anything? Was there anything changing mentally? Was there a...
Oh, it's a big change, isn't it?
Sure. Oh, yeah.
That's like my fight for the defending my European title on Lion Fight. I was set to face Sevket.
Right.
He's in one now.
Yep.
It was at 150 pounds. He fights 155. I fight 145. We just did it at 150. It was during COVID. There was a lack of opponents. So I said, yes, 150. And trained for him. The night before weigh-ins, I get a message from Scott Zer, and he says, Sevket is injured, he's out, but we have your replacement. He's from Belfast, Niall McGreevy. So I went from a 5'5" fighter to
hard
a 6'4" Niall McGreevy.
Yeah.
And you got to fight, you got to make adjustments.
Yep.
So same thing with Nick. It was the same story, kind of. Opposite, completely different style, counter fighter, very Thai style, even though I would say Nick is, but very different style, very different size. And it was 2 weeks notice, 2.5 weeks notice, 3 weeks notice, something like that. And Kieran said, hey, Opposite's out, but here's the option. I didn't even look at him. I just said yes. And yeah, very, very different style fight.
Yeah, yeah.
Very different.
And man, I don't know if I've seen with my own eyes somebody throw out all that much offense in 3 rounds.
It was like a heavy bag workout.
Dude, what was it like? Like, were you having those thoughts in there? Like, dude, what is it going to take to go down? Like, were you having those mental conversations?
No, because this is how I want to be perceived, right? Like, I'm going to keep coming. So I train myself like that, to be like that. So I just knew, he's a tough guy. And he's probably not going out. He's probably not going down. I thought he might, especially after I clipped him, put him down for an 8 count, and then wobbled him another time.
Yep.
But he's just tough, man. Like, I strongly doubt I would fight someone with more drive and as tough. The combination of those two, I doubt I'll find anyone like that.
Good call.
For the rest of my career, I could as tough, maybe, but not tough.
Yeah,
like
agree. Yep.
That's something different.
Yep.
I cracked him in the first round, knocked his teeth out. He goes back to his corner and he says, "I think my teeth have been knocked out." And then Eddie takes out his mouth guard, looks, knocks his 2 front teeth into his hand, puts it in his pocket, and says, what do you say? We can get new teeth. We can't get this fight back. Shoves his mouth guard in, and like, that's gangster.
No kidding.
And you gotta be switched on. Like, Nick was coming to the very end.
You bet.
After that, Nick's coming to the very end. So it was like a heavy bag workout, to be honest. Didn't really get hit with anything, but
Yep.
he was a big guy too.
Yeah, agreed. And he kept trying to come forward.
Just come forward. Yeah, it doesn't matter what you threw at him. He came forward. I need him with my left knee. You go watch the fight. I need him with my left knee, and I tell you, I swear I felt his spine. His stomach wasn't engaged, bro, and I need him, and it went through his stomach, and it hit the back, and he just kept coming. I'm like, this is
how?
This guy's different. This guy's built different.
No kidding.
Yeah. Shout out to him. We went for a smoothie after. I had to take him out for a smoothie because he couldn't eat food.
Sure.
Yeah, rough. Great guy. We had a good chat, and me and my team had dinner with him or a smoothie. Yeah, I still stay in touch with him. I hope all the best for him. He's a great fighter.
You bet. And living the life, traveling, Thailand, you know. Yeah, good on him. Pretty cool, at least Instagram tells me, pretty cool life that he's leading. Yeah. If you're that kind of fella.
Yeah, he's a unique guy for sure.
Yep, you bet.
Yeah.
So that brings you into the finals. Oh, by the way, after that fight, now I know you're hyped up and stuff. I'm getting changed. It's the end of the night. I'm tired.
Yeah, I came to you. Yeah.
Did you punch him in the face and he like bit a hole through your glove?
I hit him so hard that his tooth or his mouth guard, it must have been a tooth, it couldn't have been a mouth guard. His tooth ripped my glove open and cut me underneath the glove on my knuckle.
That's all the way through.
On my finger, middle of my finger. Yeah.
You don't recall that one per se? I guess
Oh,
there's
no,
so
no,
many, obviously.
There were so many.
Yeah. Holy cow, man. Yeah, I remember you talking. I wasn't sure. I'm like, maybe did you hit
And I was
here?
worried. I thought, you hear about people get bitten by other people, or they get in a fight, they hit someone in their tooth and saliva, and then you lose your hand, or you lose a finger, or it gets infected. I was worried. I had the doctor look at that right away. It was a pretty deep cut.
Wow.
I think it was on my index finger. I think.
That's insane that went through your glove.
Yeah.
What a punch.
What a man to take that punch.
No joke. No joke. Now, were you tired at the end of that fight? There was a lot of elbow.
Yeah, I was tired.
Yeah.
I was
How
tired.
can you not be?
But I'll always keep going.
Of course.
I'll never be so tired that I can't keep going.
Right.
And I made mistakes in that fight. And I've adjusted those mistakes. I've addressed those mistakes and I've adjusted them. And we're working on stuff like that never happening again. There was, I'm not going to get into details, but there was things that I was doing that wasn't necessary.
Sure.
And I've adjusted them. Made
That's the whole thing, right? Just keep trimming off the fat. Off the fat.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. So in the finals here, obviously we had our fun little interview with Abdul and had some big hype around it. And it was massive. Shout out to Duvall. When I had an interview with him after his fight, that was my first time not that I've done a lot of commentating, but my first time. I was waiting for him in the ring and just like, hanging out. And then I looked up and like from wall to wall, all I saw were heads and faces. And I was like, whoa, that's a lot of people.
Big crowd.
Yeah. And I thought Duvall was saying the same, where he was like, I'm a little, got a little camera shy. And I was like, oh, you're being cute. And he's like, no, I did the same. I didn't even think about it until I looked up. I was like, whoa.
Lots of people there.
What was it like being in the finals, knowing that you are potentially at the most 9 minutes away from these three standing in the way?
I was really excited. Well, I came up with a really, really good game plan that I knew would fold him. And when you work in something all camp and you go into the fight and you do it perfectly.
Sure. Yep.
You do everything you were working on. Like for the Abdu fight, I was working on landing my knees a lot, and I only landed like one, maybe two. I was really ticked at myself because I spent a lot of time working on that. For this Abdul fight, everything I did was like to a T, everything I was doing in training. And like thousands upon thousands of reps. At the end of every session, whatever session it was, I'd do the same 10 things to the leg, to the body, to the head, over and over and over again, just to get those extra reps in. And it worked perfectly. I did everything I did, came about. So I was pumped for that fight. And
what made you so confident that those things you were training were going to work in this fight?
I knew that Abdul was a young, immature fighter, 100% dangerous, 100% absolutely dangerous, but an immature, inexperienced fighter. And he didn't belong on the world stage.
Agreed.
For the sake of Muay Thai, I had to put him out.
I agree with that statement.
Yeah. And I hope all the best to him. I hope he keeps fighting.
Of course. Yep.
I think he has great potential in kickboxing or Muay Thai.
Yep.
So I really do hope he continues fighting and we see him soon. But
wasn't his time, it was your time.
No, I'm on a different level.
Agreed. In that fight,
Yeah.
Did you get hit with anything clean? I mean, a couple sweeps I saw.
Yeah,
or one.
good sweeps,
Yep.
good sweeps, couple times. And then when I went to finish him, I ate a not so clean hook on the back of the head.
Yeah.
And I had a welt there. Like I knew I'd been hit there, and then I looked back at the footage, and it was that.
Okay.
Right before I put him down with the left hand.
Yeah, I know the exact shot you're talking.
Yeah.
Man, and I'll tell you what, like, I have such a hard time watching that fight. I was so jacked up and excited at my commentary.
Man, I look back at it. I was just talking to Kieran. Me and Kieran went out for lunch. Kieran's managing me, obviously. And we went out for lunch and we were chatting about that fight and just the night. Not the fight, the night. And that was special.
Yeah,
I always said, like, my Lion fight debut was just, it was phenomenal. Like, it was at the Hard Rock Casino in the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas. Nick Diaz was front row.
Right.
Roy Jones was, like, chatting me up. Like,
nice.
The day before, he was there. Like, I had my whole team there, or lots of my team there. And it was debuting a Lion fight was big for me. And I finished the guy in the first round with one of the most spectacular KOs It was amazing.
Listen,
It
man,
doesn't
you
get
don't
better.
get freebies like that,
No,
like ever.
it was crazy. Tough guy, but slept him. And the reaction was amazing. The response was amazing. And I said, nothing's ever going to top that. Nothing's ever going to top that experience.
Sure.
And nothing did until the finals of the Road to One. I had my friends, my family, my whole team there. And the place was there. And it was there, man, like cheering me on. They were in my corner. And when I came out, it was like spectacular. And then when I won and I jumped on your table, that man, you can't beat that.
Sure, exactly.
And then I had my one championship debut, and we can get into that debut in a bit.
Oh, we will.
Yeah, then that was something else.
Right.
But yeah, and Kieran said something like a good words here, like each for their own reason. They were the best, right? Different points in my career, and now I'm at the pinnacle of it, so it's gonna get good.
That's it, man. Was there any extra nerves, like, same thing the 5 minutes before going out?
I'm always nervous going out. Nothing ever crippling.
What is it? Is it underperforming that gives you the nerves? Like what?
Yeah, sure. Like I know my potential. I know what I'm good at, and maybe I don't get to showcase that.
Yeah.
Maybe I get caught with a lucky shot, or
Walking into the unknown, I guess, will make you a little nervous, right?
Yeah,
For sure.
Yeah.
Standing in your underwear in front of thousands of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll do it, I guess.
Yeah.
How about after that? So we got to obviously go in the casino, top stage. Hey, look at all us, and have a root beer or two. How was the post fight? Just how was the feeling knowing that that's it? I got through the 3. We're moving on. What was the next, let's say, 24 hours like for you mentally?
I was over the moon. The next day I was leaving for Mexico, so I was pumped about that too.
Sure.
And like I like fighting and then going away on vacation. I've put in a lot of time, stress, energy, less time with my family, even though my family's my priority and I make time for them always.
Preach.
Just a little less time, right?
Of course, it has to be that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting away after a fight is just great. And being with the family, I was with them for 14 days in Mexico.
Beautiful.
All inclusive, just relaxed. And it was at the all-inclusive that I realized, I was lying in bed and I turned to Chris and I'm like, I'm signed to one championship. And we were like, I said, it doesn't even feel real. It won't feel real till I have the contract.
That's awesome, man.
Cool.
What a sentence,
cool.
eh?
Yeah. It took me like 10 days to realize, like, I'm signed to one championship. I did it.
Right. Man, yeah, and I'll tell you, that was just an ending to a tournament, man. That was great.
Oh, yeah. What a night.
Unbelievable. The whole thing, I in no offense to the other fight cards, but like you said, they were so quality and stuff that like now we're on the other side of it. You're like maybe fourth gear
we
instead
need
of
to
fifth.
build up some champions
That's
again.
exactly.
And, Muay Thai World Cup's the best show around. It's been phenomenal. I really hope they keep going with shows. And
Agreed.
I think they run phenomenal production. They put on proper matchups. No dilly-dallying, beating around the bush. They just keep it real.
Yep.
You want to fight? Boom, there you go.
Yep. Agreed.
Kieran gets fights. You message Kieran and say, "Hey, I want my guy on the card." He's got you a matchup.
Yep.
Like he'll find a matchup for you.
That's right.
And they're always bangers.
That's right.
Like, he doesn't mess around. He shoots straight. Kieran shoots straight, and he puts on a great show. Great promotion. Yeah.
Yep. Agreed. Well, Kieran's the man. Big fan. Muay Thai World Cup, next one, November. That one's in Ontario. So one championship debut. So I know you. Same thing, man. You were hounding. Hey, I'm waiting for the call, man. I'm ready. I'm waiting for the call.
I was hounding Kieran. I felt bad. I messaged him so many times. I'm sorry, man.
But
because
so
I was calling him. I was messaging him for months.
Right, a guy that hungry. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, and they said in the new year, so I was like, January, February, I was ready. I was foaming at the mouth. I was ready.
Right.
I was ready for months. I was ready. And then, sure enough, I get the call. It wasn't short notice. It was kind of short notice, but it was more short notice because my first time in Thailand. So I got the call 4 weeks out. I remember exactly where I was. I was in the gym with Krista and the kids, and Kieran texts me, "Call me. We got the call." Word for word. I'll never forget this. I ran into the office. Krista, we got to fight. Yeah. I call Kieran as I'm running to tell Krista. I call Kieran. I'm like, no way, Kieran. He's like, he tells me the name. He said, look, I said, yes, let's do it. I'm not turning down an opportunity. I didn't even know the guy. I didn't look his record up. No fights. I just said yes on the phone. He's like, listen, just take 5 minutes. Look, tell me. And I took not more than 30 seconds. I Googled his name, found a fight. I maybe watched 10 seconds of it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, let's go. Let's do it.
Yeah. So how was that? How was that experience going there? So you're going to Thailand, obviously getting ready, acclimatized, training at PK. I saw.
Yeah.
Leading up to the fight, how was that? Like, what was going on? Was there a lot of media? I don't know. Hydration was all this kind of an issue when you're out there?
Thailand was wild.
Yeah,
Thailand
wild
was
place.
wild. First of all, my first time there. So I had 2 weeks of training regularly, my regular schedule with Chris.
Right.
And then me and Shane were off. 2 weeks here to ramp it up, and then we were off. And then we had to makeshift put together a camp out there and climatize and everything. So really, I had like 3 solid weeks of training.
Yeah.
Which is enough for me because I'm in shape. But like it came about quick.
Yeah.
Thailand was different for so many reasons. First of all, I love the country.
Yeah.
It's an amazing place. Bangkok was just phenomenal. The people are great. The fans are something else, man. Like, I don't know if Chris told you, but this is before the fight. Anywhere we'd go. We went to the mall. We were in a tuk-tuk. We were at a spa, to cut weight. Any place, the slums, the middle of nowhere. You'd get someone look at you like that. Someone look at me like that. Like old Thai person, young. They go, "Oh, Chick Peacock?" Like this.
Shut
I'm like,
up, no way.
Chris didn't tell you this?
No.
Oh, it was nuts.
Wow.
Wait till after the fight. So like, yeah, on a tuk-tuk, guy would be on a tuk-tuk and go, look at me and Shane are on the back of, straddling each other on the back of a bike. But he looks over, I think he's thinking, look at these weirdos. And he's like, Jake Peacock? I'm like that, yeah, that's me. And I don't know how. Maybe one was doing some publicity out there I didn't know of, but it was huge. This is before the fight. Then we go a week before we went to Lumpinee Stadium to watch Friday fights.
Yep.
Just for me to get a good feel of the place, get situated. And I was getting stopped left, right, and center because the card had been released, I guess, and people knew I was fighting on it.
Right on.
And so people noticed me, and I went out with a sick marketing strategy. I bought the boys cowboy hats,
Right.
and we're going out there to bring a firefight to the east. We're bringing the Wild West to the east. That was the theme, and so I stood out like a sore thumb.
Sure.
We all stood out like a sore thumbs. So I was getting stopped, picture, autograph, all of this, and then we watched Lumpinee. It was great. Friday fights.
I don't miss, man.
Huh?
I don't miss. I watch them every
Oh,
Friday.
yeah, brilliant. The rest of the week was good. Training was good. PK Sanchai got hooked up there. Mutual friends and that. They really looked after me. Anything I needed, they just sorted me out. Shout out to PK Sanchai. They're absolute quality. They really looked after me. I had Tawan Chai's head coach train me.
Nice.
And then, yeah, where do you want to go from that?
Well, I'm just overall curious. What was the overall training like there? Like, what were you there still doing the same? Like 3 hours in the morning, 3 hours in the evening?
No, I was doing my own thing.
Yeah.
Like that close to a fight, I couldn't make adjustments to what I'd been doing. If I'd been out there a month, I would have just gone to their schedule, to their program, their strength and conditioning program, their pad work, everything.
Right. Different purpose. You're tapering off. There's water. There's food.
Yes, and they do things differently. And I have my system that works really well for me. And like I said, if I was there for a longer period of time, 100% I'd get into their system.
Sure.
But I have things down and very methodical in my training. So if I just all of a sudden switched things up and was hitting 10 rounds of pads twice a day, running with the lads 5K, I was invited to all of this. I kept turning them down because I had to be
smart.
I had to do my thing.
Yeah.
So I worked with Shane Ball.
Shout out to Shane.
Shout out to Shane. Just phenomenal corner. Chris and Shane they might be my corner for life. We got it down now.
Nice.
We got it down. Took a while to figure out everything, and now we got it down.
Yeah. Same thing. Just trim off the fat. Let's get through it a few times.
Yeah. We got it down.
We'll clean it up. Yeah.
And Shane's just a phenomenal training partner, coach, great mind. So it was great having him out there. I worked with him most of the time, and then I just hit with Trainer Wang a few times leading up to the fight.
Nice.
Yeah.
So how about the weigh-in itself? Was anything like hydration? I still don't really. I don't know. I'm talking from the outside. It looks like it can be gamed, but was that hydration or weighing in?
Stressful.
Yeah. I was curious. Was it an issue, or is it always an issue? I mean, I guess it always is.
Stressful. People need to hire a nutrition coach, a nutritionist.
You
Hire a
should be
nutritionist.
at this point.
At this point, spend the money and get a nutritionist. I'm lucky. I have Coach TJ Whelan. He's worked with me from my my second pro fight. He's traveled around the world with me. He's world class at what he does. So I have him. So I knew I was in good hands. But even then, it's funny. We're sitting on the bench. Our names get called in one at a time. You give them the Peacock that you peed in. They do the litmus test. Shout out a few numbers. Don't know what they mean.
Sure.
You're either hydrated or dehydrated. Unless you're hydrated, unless you test hydrated, you can't step on the scale. You can't touch it.
Huh.
So I'm sitting there with Singmawin.
Yep.
Singmawin. I'm sitting there with him on the bench. I come out with my Peacock. I see Singmawin on the bench. I sit down. I look at his Peacock. I'm like, his pee is clear. And mine was dark orange. It looked like apple juice. And I was like, I looked at TJ like this. And I was like, I was about to lose my mind.
Right.
This is my one championship debut. We need to fight.
Clearly on the color of piss, hey?
Yeah. Chris was there. Chris wasn't aware of what was going on in my head. But Shane was looking right at me like this. Shane, now I know why he was looking at me like this. Shane was almost zoned out and he was almost drooling. His lips were like this. And he was looking at me like this, right? And he tells me now, when we get back, he tells me what was going through his mind. He was thinking, what am I going to do if Jake rips TJ's head off? How am I going to do damage control? How am I going to damage control this situation? Swear to you, that was what he was thinking. Now it makes sense because he was like this, drooling from the mouth, looking at me. I looked up for a split second. I'm too worried about the pee. So I'm like, I look up from a split second. I'm like, weirdo looking at me like that.
Okay.
I look back at my pee like that, but he was, because he knew I was going to have TJ's head.
Right.
But I should have trusted the doc, man. He's never let me down. And I tested completely hydrated. I had lots of room to spare.
Nice.
And nailed it. I was in phenomenal shape too.
There you go.
Crazy. I'm ready again.
So after that, you step on the scale, everything's good. So boom, it's fight time.
Fight time.
Now you know, okay, we made it. Here we are. So tell us about the day. The day, you know, you're eating, you know what's on your mind. You know you got to fight. You know what's next.
I love it. Like, the memories are brilliant. Like, we're just sitting in the hotel room a lot. Go for a walk with the lads, Chris, TJ, and Shane. We go for a walk a couple times. Back to the hotel, eat. Business, like, just zoned in. Sometimes the lads would leave me. They'd go off because they needed lunch and that. And I was eating a strict diet, so I just look out the window, and I thought to myself, I looked out onto Bangkok. It wasn't a great view, to be honest.
Sure.
I looked out on what I could see of Bangkok. I'm like, man, I'm in Bangkok, and I'm about to fight in one championship. So I just remember being there eating some blueberries on the bed alone. The lads had left.
Got some goosebumps, buddy.
Yeah, I know, it's like,
What a sentence.
and I just look out the window, and I'm like, it's time. And I remember we're in the back room, me, Shane, and Chris. We're in the back room. The lads are dialed in. My lads are dialed in. Chris is dialed in. You know, Shane is dialed in. And I tell the boys, like, it's business, guys. It's business. It's time to be gangsters. Come in here, do damage, and peace. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's all that's on our mind. I don't care. I tell the boys straight up, I don't care what else is on your mind. This, for 15 minutes, however long, 9 minutes plus the breaks and the walkout and all that, 15 minutes of laser focus. That is what we need. And you boys need to be laser focused too. Let's go out there and flipping do this. And we're all just zoned in.
Sure.
Chris is as serious as it gets.
Yep.
Shane is as serious as it gets. And, you know, I remember being in the back. I've done a bit of a warm-up. And I just turned to Chris. I've never said this before. I turned to Chris, and Shane was there. I turned to Chris, and I said to him, I've never really said this before, but I feel really special tonight. I feel special. This is going to be a special performance. And I've never said that ever in my life. And yeah, went out there and I was in control from bell to bell and just absolutely had a blast.
Is there anything that gave you that feeling? Like what makes you say that? What was it about that day? Just everything fell into place perfect?
Yeah, everything felt, well, nothing ever falls into place perfect. There's always like little bumps along the road and that, whether it's injuries or things that happen or,
Sure.
you know, things that get adjusted and all of that. It was more just, this is where I'm meant to be. Like, I'm finally on the world stage, and I knew I was born to be on the world stage. I was born for one championship. I was born for the highest level of competition in Muay Thai, and I was there, and it was my time. Like, as much as I like these other shows, as much as I love Muay Thai World Cup, they've just done such a great job.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't made for Muay Thai World Cup.
I got you.
I
Yep.
wasn't made for it. I
got
was
you.
made for an international world stage. I was meant to be with the best and like shock the world.
But and I'm going back to this again. I don't know if you have an answer, but everybody says that. But the difference is, maybe, again, let me speak for myself, although I believe that this is a part of your aura. Everybody says that, but you know when people are just saying it and when they really believe it. We can see that you really believe that. Like, I don't know how to ask that question. Like, how do you come to that conclusion? I see UFC guys say it all the time, but we can tell that when you say it, it's like you actually 100% believe that.
I don't know what to tell you. I just know it. I just believe it. And I think, 21 years of me in combat sports and 31 years of life, if you look at my life, like, you can see that. Like, and I can see that in myself.
Right. And the reality is the belief comes from trials, tribulations, going out, doing the hard work and putting yourself in the fire. Yeah. And whether you win or lose, going back to the drawing board.
100%.
Sure.
Yeah, 100%. And I see these things like, I was raised around professionals. My dad was a professional at the very highest level.
Shout out to your dad, yes, sir.
Shout out to my dad. Chelsea, played for Chelsea, captained them, Newcastle, QPR, Charlton, Premier League player for 15 years, maybe more. My granddad played over 500 games for Charlton.
Dang, really,
he's a legend there. Like the stadium's, I don't know how many seats it has, but massive football stadium.
Sure.
And he has a whole room dedicated to him. It's called the Keith Peacock Suite. And our family pictures all across the walls and plaques.
Wow.
And over 500 games for the same team, like loyalty. Then went into to manage them and coach them. And so I've been around professionals my whole life.
At the highest level, really.
At the highest level of what they do.
Yeah.
And so I knew what it took. I could see glimpses of what it took.
Yeah, yeah.
And my dad always shot straight with me, like, he never blew smoke up my bum.
Nice.
Kept it real.
Nice.
So
necessary.
Very encouraging dad. Like I said that in an interview, and Sky Sports or someone came out. No, it wasn't Sky Sports. It was the Mirror or the Sun. The Sun in the UK came out with a newspaper article, and they said, ex-Chelsea player says son could never make it, and then son proves dad wrong. That's not what I said. I said my dad keeps it shoots straight with me, and said that I'd never make it. I don't have the ability to be a professional footballer. I'm not at that level. But fighting was something I was gifted at, and he knew I was gifted at it. So he pointed me in the right direction.
Right.
If he'd blown smoke up my bum, you can make it, son. You know what I mean? In football, I would have wasted my time trying to be a footballer.
Right.
Maybe. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And then walked away from karate and Muay Thai and all of that.
Yeah.
But he pointed me in the right direction and knew what I was good at and encouraged me in that way. So
Nice. Unbelievable.
yeah. I got to have a word with the son. I'm a little bit ticked off about that.
Yeah, that sounds like media. Now, the fight itself. Hey, Maury, come on in. The fight itself, one championship. So you're in the corner. What was, let me tell you the fight from my point of view. Everything looked good and tough and everything, but it felt like to me in about something happened in the first 30, 45 seconds where Buddy was like, I don't know if I want to really put myself. He was durable as hell, but it looked like he wasn't willing to put himself out there because of what might come. You know what I mean? Like you could see that you struck some fear in him.
Yeah. Yeah.
How was that fight? Do you recall that or?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
So we were in the back room. Actually, it was a couple days before, and then we talked about it in the back room. We knew he loved his left hook, and he had a decent right hand. So right away from the get-go, I wanted to make him very afraid to throw that left hook or that right hand and take away two of his best weapons.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted him hesitant to throw those. So like stabs to the body, kicks to the body, kicks to the leg every time, so that he doesn't want to open up.
Can't
open
plant.
up on the right cross, open up on the left hook, because he's going to eat something. Left high kick as he throws the left hook, like cool, tricky stuff like that.
Yep.
So we did that early on. We let him know, you want to open up, you're going to get something.
Yeah.
You're going to get something.
Yep.
So then he didn't want to open up. But what happened in that fight is we touch gloves. I walk forward. I want to see what he's about, see what he has to offer. And I could tell his game plan right away, take away his movement, kick his legs, as lots of people do. And he threw tried to throw calf kicks. and I just saw everything. I was in the Matrix, just saw everything and just checked it or just took it, and then I was just in control, and I just had fun, man. Like
It looked like it.
In the back room, all I was saying, all right, let's get this 50,000. Let's get this 50,000. I said to the boys, 50,000 guys, let's go. Let's do this. Let's do this.
Ears are on Jake.
The fight starts, forgot about the 50,000, which, to be honest, I'm all right with. Like, I like that side of me. I'm not motivated by money.
Yeah.
I'm in there to entertain people and to do what I'm good at. And I completely forgot about the 50,000.
Right.
So, you know, could I have finished him? Yeah. He's super tough.
Yes.
Like, I kicked him with my shin around his head.
Yes.
And he went boom like this and like a few times.
Yeah.
So super tough. But if I wanted to, I could have put him away. But I was enjoying myself so much. And, you know, you wait 4 years to be on one championship.
Mm-hmm.
You get the shot to be on one championship. You're in Lumpinee Stadium and it's sold out, over the capacity.
Nice.
It's nuts in there. One championship put on a great production. And I just wanted to enjoy myself. I wanted to soak up the moment. So I was pulling off some cool stuff.
Sure, man.
I was in
Yeah.
control. So I didn't end up finish fight. The moment finish and they line us up and they're about to raise my hand, I think, oh, no, I'm not going to get the 50,000. So that being said, this next fight,
Oh, boy.
November 8th,
Yes.
I said it to Chris this morning. Again, it's strictly business, but we're going in there to do some damage, and we're gonna finish the fight within 2 rounds.
Nice.
It's not gonna go past the second. We're gonna put this guy away, and we're gonna make a real statement. Let everyone know we're for real. You know, I had my fun, my debut, enjoyed the moment.
Savored it.
There's still a
Escape.
part of me that's thinking, oh, but I want to enjoy the moment. State Farm Arena, one championship again, the prime card. You know, 9 minutes. Can't I enjoy 9 minutes? But I got to do this. I got to go out there. I got to let one championship know what I'm about. Let the whole roster know what I'm about. Smoke this guy, starch him, get my hand raised, grab the mic, and I'm going to ask for a top 10 contender. I'm going to ask for a top 10 contender. I want people to know I'm for real. I don't call names out. I don't want names. And I don't even know who's in the top 10. I know who's in the top 5, but I don't know who's in the top 10. Just give me anyone in the top 10. I want to shut up the doubters, people that doubt. You know, give me someone that you think, there's no chance. And watch me do the same to them. And that's what I want.
I love how you just say that. I'm gonna smash that guy too. You guys can all eat dick.
Well, not that part, but
but you know what I mean.
yeah.
In between the lines, I hear you. Huh? That's what you're saying. Why do you think there's doubters? What are they doubting?
They're doubting me because, well, everyone has doubters. Everyone has
course.
doubters, but people doubt me because they see my arm. Is what it is.
Back to the arm, hey?
Yeah.
Do you think they've been proven by now? But
Yeah, you'd think, but there's a lot of uneducated people out there.
yeah, for
You know
sure.
what it's like you sit down and watch the fights with someone in the UFC, and someone that has never stepped foot in a gym is telling them, shouting at the TV, telling Adesanya exactly what he needs to do.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, everybody tells me, like, did you watch UFC? Yeah, I just stayed home. Like, why don't you just go to the pub and pay $10? I'm like, can I pay the $65 to not do that?
Yeah.
Just not deal with those people?
Yeah, seriously. Seriously.
So how about after that? After the fight, what was it like, man? You talking about being star-studded before the fight. What about after?
We must have been there for, first of all, the media coverage is great with one. We got rushed off to a back room with the media, journalists, Thai news articles, European, North American, and then the one championship ones, Lumpinee. Just did a bunch of interviews for probably an hour. And then I left, grabbed my bag, and then me and the boys, we head outside. We couldn't even get outside. Like, I couldn't. Oh, sorry. We went to watch some of the fights, and there were like a few left by the time I was finished the media stuff. We sat and watched some of the fights, and then as we're leaving, we couldn't make it down the first set of stairs without getting mobbed. And then the boys, poor fellas, they waited for hours. Like, you know, for the first level we were at for like an hour taking photos and pictures and, you know, people wanted to chat. And then we got outside and then we got mobbed again. And that one was even longer, probably maybe like an hour and a half or something. And then it got to the point where the boys were getting really antsy, and I get it. And so was I.
Right.
I have time for people, though.
Sure.
I have time for I really have time. People have given me time growing up. People gave me time. People believed in me. People trusted me. People
I
gave
hear
me
you.
time.
But after a certain amount of time after fighting, like, oh boy.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
thirsty,
it
we're
got
hungry.
long. I was thirsty as
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
man. I was sweating buckets out there, and taking a bunch of pictures of people. And then we ended up having to take the hats off and book it. We were wearing the cowboy hats, so everyone knew.
Oh yeah.
So I took my hat off and booked it. TJ called a cab, wiped Flavor one down, and he like gave me the thumbs up, and we just booked it to the cab.
Nice.
Then we went to a food market in the middle of nowhere, and everyone stopped me there too. They were all tuned in on their iPads and in the stalls.
Man.
They were, oh man, everyone watches it there. We're in the middle of nowhere, just a random food market, a couple thousand people there, and you walk past the stalls and everyone pointing, and then you can tell, and then some of them do this.
Right.
And then you say, yeah, and then you get stopped and asked for photos and that. It's different out there. It's brilliant.
How does that feel, that little bit of fame? Is it anything to you? Is it annoying? Do you like it? Is it, is it, I don't want to see a goal, but is it something you want to come with where things are heading?
I'm happy to be, like, people find me inspiring. They
course.
find me an inspiration, and people go through hardships in life. It doesn't have to be physical hardship. It could be mental. Life is tough. Life is tough for us all. And people see me overcome adversity, and they're inspired and encouraged by that. And I'm all for that.
Nice.
I'm all for that, and I'm glad I can be of help. There are people that helped me, people that inspired me. So I'm okay with that. It doesn't annoy me. I'm sure sometimes it might get
Of course.
frustrating, but
Of
it doesn't annoy me. I got lots of time for people, and it was cool. In Canada, in Calgary, now and again I get stopped. Like the other day I was at Sobeys, I got stopped by two separate people in my half hour there getting groceries for my wife. But it doesn't happen often.
Sure.
Out there though, like, it was all the time. So it was it was a cool experience.
So what I'm piecing together is, I'm sure you hear about it, the argument between new Muay Thai and traditional Muay Thai. There's,
Yeah.
But bottom line is, we don't hear about it in Thailand per se. So what I'm hearing is one championship is huge.
It's the most, one Lumpinee, which is broadcast on Channel 7 every Friday. It's the most watched, don't quote me on this, but it's the most watched television show in Thailand's history.
What? Wow.
Yeah, Chatri posted a few times over the last couple months on the statistics, and I believe it's number one, and it's the most popular. Everyone tunes into it. So like the following day, we go on a boat tour, and some random old lady driving the boat, she finds out I was fighting on one championship. Like, she knew. And then we're at random stall, someone's selling mangoes.
Right.
And they say, did you find one last night?
That's crazy.
It was wild. Yeah, everyone
bet.
watches it.
Wow.
Everyone watches it.
There you go. Everybody outside of Thailand complaining about traditional, and but yeah, they'll take it all.
Yeah,
They love it.
I think one's done a good job, man. Like
Unbelievable.
they've reignited the passion for Muay Thai that was dying out.
This podcast wouldn't exist without it.
And,
honestly.
100%.
Yeah.
Timo Rouge, maybe how you say his name. He's one of the heads of like one Lumpinee. Like he gave a pre-fight, post-weigh-in speech.
Okay.
About tomorrow night. It was wicked, man. It got me fired up. And the whole thing behind it is building up Muay Thai and letting, showcasing, exciting, entertaining fights. We're entertainers. And he spoke really well. It fired me up, motivated me. And everyone on the one board, like everyone that I met, everyone has the same vision and goal. And it's to produce entertaining fights and on the highest stage with great production and bring popularity to Muay Thai. And they're doing it.
Yep. Yeah. There you are, man. Yep. Agreed.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. How long did you stay till you came back?
Oh, we had like 36, 40 hours, something like this.
Oh, yeah.
And then we came back.
Yeah, nice.
Chris stayed like a week longer. TJ stayed like 2 weeks, 3 weeks longer. And me and Shane flew back, 2 days after.
Yeah. There you go, man. Now listen, we're running out of time here. I do have some questions for you and a fun little thing I wanted to do here. Let's start with the first one. I have some fast questions. I don't know if they're questions, so I have a whole bunch of words, or maybe two words, and all I want you to do is give me whatever comes to the top of your head first.
Hold up. What?
Yeah?
Okay.
So I'm going to bust
What's
out
it related to?
anything and everything, mostly what we're doing, fighting.
Okay.
Yeah? Okay, we got. I can't think about it. You ready?
Man,
Here we go. Dunamis.
strength, power, ability, community.
I said one word.
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
it one
No,
word?
I'm kidding. No, just whatever comes to the top of your head. I was just kidding. One championship.
The pinnacle. You got give me like a second, yeah? I can do that.
Of course,
hey?
of course. Yeah,
'Cause
just
I
whatever
just
comes
shout out
first.
bananas, you know.
Yeah.
Orange.
Strawberry. Driving. Strawberries, yogurt.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Just whatever
Cool.
comes to your head
All
first.
right, all right.
Childhood.
So if you did that again to Dunamis, I would say community.
Dunamis.
Community.
Start again. Okay, community. One championship.
The pinnacle.
Childhood.
Great.
Dad.
Loving.
Lion fight.
The start.
That's a good one. Chatri.
The boss.
Boss. Muay Thai.
My sport.
Team.
Strong. I had to be. That's just natural now.
Champion.
Me.
Attaboy. Kick.
Punch.
Fight.
Hard.
Calgary.
Home.
Character.
Heart.
Life.
Great.
Family.
Love.
One loss.
Life changing.
Good one. KO.
What I'm about.
Muay Thai World Cup.
A revolutionary.
Abdu Haddad.
Solid.
Kieran Kittle.
Revolutionary.
Appy Sit.
Got away.
Yeah.
Escaped.
That's what I was hoping you'd say. Yeah.
Escaped.
I was hoping that was going to be what
Nice.
you'd say. Fans.
Love them.
Drive.
Long. Drive?
Drive.
Yeah, I have a long drive to and from work.
There you go. I mostly meant like
Oh.
Cheerios and all, but who cares? Hey,
That's the first thing
That's
I
right.
thought was
Perfect.
to drive home.
That's what I wanted. Discipline.
Dedication.
Shout out podcast.
Legendary.
Jason Bryant.
Legendary.
I didn't write the last two.
We go back. I was thinking on my way here, we go back.
Yeah,
We
man.
go back.
Yeah, you bet.
We go back. When I first started working with Chris, I used to come here now and again. You've helped pass me a few times.
Yep.
You helped get me ready for the Ireland fight, the Dublin fight.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. That was
Yeah,
my
man. I
third pro
remember
fight.
watching. I think it was your second line fight. I went to the CSA clinic, and I was so sore. I just watched you in the tub. I was watching. Well, no, you know what I mean. I was watching my phone while I was having a bath because I was really sore, and I remember screaming at my phone, "Jab, Jake, jab!" My phone fell in the water. I wrecked my phone. Anyway, I was excited for you back then, buddy. Okay, I have some Q&A. Some of them might be slightly redundant. I'll try to stay away from those. Number one, are you not even a question, but I know you have two fans, and they were sitting over there last time I came in, Carter and Kai, that train with Chris. You know those fellas? The little fellas? Well, it's Carter's birthday.
They're brothers.
That's right. It's Carter's birthday. I was wondering if you could wish him a happy birthday.
Carter's birthday.
Today.
Happy birthday, Carter. I hope you have a fantastic day.
Beauty. Thanks. Just won me some brownie points.
Yeah.
Superlek versus Haggerty. What's your prediction?
Oh, man. What a fight.
Yep.
I want to say Superlek because he's my favorite
Yep.
fighter. I hope to fight him one day.
Yeah.
I love him. But Haggerty's so dangerous
Yep.
and dialed in.
Yep.
And Christian Knowles is a great game planner.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't want to say anything.
I flip-flop back and forth. I think Haggerty has a similar style every fight, although he's very good at doing what he needs to adjust. But I feel like Superlek,
adaptable.
yeah,
Adaptable,
Yes.
man. You see what he made Takuru look like?
sure,
The best kickboxer in the world.
Yep.
He made him look like an amateur.
yeah. Elbows and Walter, yeah, he's unbelievable. So, but at the same time, I do think, no offense, that I've seen Superlek. He sometimes can like get swollen, if you know what I mean, get a little beefy.
Yes.
So I wonder if. Anyway, these are all things I think about. I don't know. I'll tell you what. If I had to, I can't either.
I don't like to say.
I keep flipping back and forth. General thoughts on Nico Carrillo?
I think he's big. He's big for the division. He's got a great mindset too,
Yep.
and you've seen that in many of his fights.
Yep.
He's faced some adversity, and he's
No.
like a bit like a Nick Crone. Like you got to put him away because he's not going to stop coming, and he's dangerous until the bell goes.
Yep.
Until the bell rings, the final bell, he's dangerous, or until his lights go out. That being said, major holes in his game.
Yeah.
In my opinion, some major areas.
Mm-hmm.
We won't get into them because
Sure.
it's in my division.
Yeah,
and
buddy.
hopefully one day.
Yeah, of course. I have a feeling that's why this person asked these questions.
It was Nico, wasn't it? He wants to find out my game plan.
It was Kieran.
Oh, it was?
Yeah. Is the one championship belt the goal? And let's start there. Is that the goal?
Yeah, you know what's weird? My whole career, I've never been focused on belts. And honestly, I hate it when people are focused on belts. Like, especially like new people that are new to the sport, amateurs, or, you know, they just turn pro and belt, second amateur fight, or belt, first pro fight. Like, I've never been focused on belts. The belts are cool, and I like collecting them now. But, you know, I just want to compete, challenge myself. I want to fight, and I want to keep fighting better and better people, and I want to fight the best in the world. Obviously, the best in the world have the belt.
Sure.
I'll take a title fight for sure. I've taken 4 title fights already.
Right. So let's throw the title aside. Are you more concerned with just simply being the best?
Yeah, sure,
Yeah.
sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
See your own
And
potential
that
where
comes
you can
with
go.
the title, but it doesn't have to.
Right. But that's a side thing.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Good. That's a good way to say it, man. How would you fare versus the above mentioned Superlek, Haggerty, Carrillo?
I would be very competitive. I would be very competitive.
From my own curiosity, out of those 3, is there anybody you feel like the least like, man, maybe I could hold back on that guy before the other 2? Like, is there anybody that you're like, maybe I'd wait for that guy for a little bit?
Superlek.
Yeah.
Superlek.
Yeah, makes sense.
It's just experience.
Yep. That's
the other
it.
guys have great technique, great athleticism. They've got experience too.
Superlek's just a chameleon. Whatever you show, he can
Superlek's
adjust.
Incredible.
Yeah.
He's incredible. I mean, the prime example is look what he did to Takuru.
Yep.
He and Superlek's not a good boxer,
Right.
but it was a kickboxing fight,
Yep.
and he was jabbing him up.
That's
at
right.
will
Yep.
because he was faking the teep.
That's right. And now everyone's doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, unbelievable. So be competitive with those 3. If you had to, I don't care about order, but obviously if you had to go, I feel the best medium, number 3 would be Superlek. Yeah, you feel the least confident of the 3. If you had to fight them today,
I would never say least confident.
Okay, I know. I knew right when I said that I screwed up.
Who I would want to take on first?
Well, yeah, let's say in that order.
Haggerty, Nico, Superlek.
Okay, that's what I'm asking, I guess. Well, there you go. Anybody you want to fight?
Anyone in the top 10.
Right. Discussed.
And this next guy, I want to fight this next guy. November 8th. Can't say who it is. Gets dropped Thursday.
Oh, okay, good. So
Yeah.
we find out right away.
Yeah.
Beauty.
Find out real soon.
How did you feel about your one opponent? I know we kind of talked about it. Just how did you feel about
Tough guy.
it? Yeah.
Tough guy.
Looked like he got into a fight with or he fell into like a cheese grater factory, man. His face was chewed right up.
Nice guy too. Nice guy.
Oh, nice. Good.
Yeah, nice guy.
We talked about this a little bit. How were you feeling 5 minutes before and 5 minutes after your debut?
5 minutes before, just dialed in, ready to do the job. Laser focused. All systems
Take the
go.
leash off.
All systems go, yeah.
Yeah.
And then after, just very like at peace. Like it was done. Did it.
Yeah.
And did it well.
Yeah, good call. Yeah,
Yeah.
did it well. Good call. What is your least favorite technique to throw, and what is your favorite technique to throw?
Least favorite technique.
Like, how would you word that? I guess, like, do you have a technique that you're like maybe not so confident in? I know confidence is not a good word.
I don't even know. Least
That's a good
favorite?
answer.
I don't know. And hey, my favorite technique to throw is the one that's gonna land, and
Yeah.
that's I'm serious. Like,
Sure.
I don't prefer my leg kick or my jab or my hook or my body kick or my spin kick. Whatever's gonna land, I love.
There you go. This is a good one. I see a big gym, a family, a farm, and fighting. How do you balance all this? I don't.
It's
Yeah,
tough.
obviously, you have to,
It's
but
tough.
sure.
It's tough. And like fight team, professional amateur fight team.
Yeah, coach.
Quinn
Add that in.
handles the amateurs now, but yeah, like I'm coaching, head coach there, and it's a lot. It's a lot. My family's my priority, right? So everything else has to take
Second place, third place, whatever.
third
Yeah.
place, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to balance, but I'm disciplined and structured, and I work hard.
That's just
I
it.
work hard.
And you just champions find a way. You just do.
Find a way. You don't find an excuse. You find a way, and just if you want something bad enough, you'll make it happen.
Good call. All right, man. And the other one I think is silly considering our conversation. Is there anybody you want none of?
No.
Get out of here with that.
No. Jason Bryan.
That's it. Oh, I'll take that. I'm that's going on Instagram, buddy. One championship, call me. I'm kidding. Just a commentator. I don't want to fight. All right, man. That brings us to the end. Is there anything else you want to mention just before we kind of wrap it close to this?
Shout out to all my supporters, fans, friends, family. My wife's amazing. My kids are amazing. My gym, the community, the gym's just phenomenal, and the support's unreal. I've got a bunch of people already bought plane tickets and their fight tickets to the fight to come support me.
Any sponsors?
I've got sponsors.
Yeah. Shout them out, man.
Hope I don't miss any. But I was just at physio with Chase Mindra from Dynamic. The best physio you'll get in town. I told you to go see him.
Yes, sir. I have his phone number. I promise.
He'll be calling you.
I promise. I promised.
Just a Chase Mindra from Dynamic Movement. Deco Windshield Repair, a local windshield repair company. They've been in my corner now for a bunch of fights.
Yep.
And massive support to me. Go see them for any crack or chip repair for your windshield. Goodness me, Satra clothing for Muay Thai clothing and apparel. Who else am I missing? You probably know.
Supplements?
I got a lot. ATP Lab. You got to cut me out.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Like this. ATP Lab. I use their supplements daily, and they've been in my corner now as well since 2020. So 4 years with ATP Lab, and couldn't do it without them really.
Good news is if you miss any, gives you a reason to come back.
Yeah. I'm not good put on the spot.
No worries, man. No worries. How about like Instagram? Where do we follow you? Where do we follow your journey? How do we get on board?
Jake_Lee Striking for the Instagram. Everything's posted on there. I'll be doing some exclusive content in Atlanta and leading up to the fight.
Beauty.
RJ's going to come out. He's going to film some behind the scenes stuff and show you what my fight weeks look like. Chase Mindra is coming out as my physio. Shane will be there. Chris will be there. TJ will hopefully be there. So you'll see what it's like on fight week, behind the scenes, the day of the fight, in the bedroom, like everything. You'll see everything. So
what it's like to see the lion when he's ready to eat, eh?
Yeah.
Nice, man.
It'll be good. It'll be good.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, I know you're a busy man and you got things to do. One last word.
Thanks for having me on the show.
Hey, listen.
Thank you.
Literally open invite whenever you want to come and sit down and chat.
It's awesome.
Always. All right, guys. There it is. The magical Jake Peacock. Next fight, November.
Magical Peacock.
The magical Peacock. What? Oh, I forgot what I was going to say now.
What
Thanks.
Are you gonna say? Shoot.
That's
You're
all
gonna say
good.
what?
Oh, next fight, November. When is it again?
November 8th.
And is it a
Atlanta.
prime card?
It's a prime card.
There you go.
It's the biggest show of the year for one championship. It's
Beauty.
huge. It's huge. Yeah.
Nice.
Massive. 17,000 seater stadium.
Nice.
It's big. They're gonna sell out.
Good. Well, I'm sure they can't wait to see you. Neither can we, man.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Thanks very much again, Jake. I appreciate it.
See you later.
And we'll see you on the next one. Peace.